Number 62, David Dugas.
I love you, uh-oh, so good it hurts. I don't
Third place award. Number 63, Robert Ferrara.
can't find the words that just
In second place, number 6.
Myself, the way you living is a good life. Yeah, you gotta think about the good times.
Second place, number 62, David Dugas.
What's up, guys? So, as you saw, I took home some hardware. Yep, I got second in my novice division, and I got fourth in my open division, and I couldn't be more excited. I was really, that day was really tough, not even gonna lie, but looking back, it was all worth it. I enjoyed the process. I at the time I didn't, but like I said, looking back now, I enjoyed the day. It was like long and short all at the same time, if that makes any sense. At the time it seemed very long, but looking back it felt like it went very quick. So what I want to do to kind of close out my cutting edge series is I kind of want to go over some things that I learned in competing in my first show that I can share with you guys if you're thinking about competing if you're thinking about competing. Now, I know a lot of my audience, probably won't compete, and I understand that, but I feel like this whole series was of me, in prep for a competition. So I felt like it would be cool just to end it with me talking about my experience and some things that I took away from it that you might be able to benefit from. So, tip number one, make sure that you submit your paperwork way in advance. I didn't realize that you needed to do this via snail mail. Like, who mails in stuff anymore? Like, I don't know, but I didn't realize it. So I ended up actually doing it like the Monday before the competition. Like, I mailed it in Monday, competition was Saturday. So like that was part of like the added stress that I had on myself for peak week. Like I was worried if they were gonna get my paperwork, if they were gonna take my money. I mean, that was a good bit of money they just had out in the mail, that I didn't know if they were gonna get it or not. So first tip, make sure to mail off your paperwork and your money way in advance. I mean, you're prepping for 3, 4, 5 months. You can submit it early. Next tip. Most of these competitions are located either at a hotel or at some type of like convention center or something like that. And most of the time they have a hotel that is associated with the show. Well, what I would do is if you don't have a friend or a family member or somewhere where you can stay that is close to the show, I highly, highly, highly recommend renting a room at that specific hotel or at a hotel close to the show. I didn't do this. The Friday night, I have a buddy that lives in the city close, to where my competition was. So I just crashed at his place Friday night. Well, he wasn't there on Saturday, so I wasn't able to go back there in between shows. So me and my family had to just kind of, figure out stuff to do throughout the day. Well, being depleted of water, being depleted of food, by the end of the day, like maybe an hour, 2 hours before the night show, I was just absolutely miserable. So what I actually did was, thank God my sister and her husband have a nice, Tahoe. I laid all the seats back in the back seat of the Tahoe, and I crashed out for about 30 minutes, and that revived me tremendously. So I would highly recommend have a place where you can go, relax, sleep, just kind of, take your mind off of the competition for a little while. That would be just the world of difference. So, tip number two, make sure you have a place close where you can rest and just get some relaxation in between shows and the night before. Tip number three, is if you can have somebody there that can help you. In the morning, you got a meeting, you got the MPs or whatever division you're going in, but you have like the competitors meeting, you have to get your second coat of spray tan, your coaches, wanting you to get meals in. It's just, there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. And I didn't have anyone, to help me out right at the beginning of the morning, so it was kind of rough. Once my parents got there and my sister-in-law got there, they were able to help out a little bit. But, if you can have someone that is there to help you, prep your meals in the morning and just kind of ins and outs, things that go on throughout the day, that would, definitely make the day go by smoother and a lot less stress on you for a show day. So tip number 4 and tip number 5 kind of go hand in hand with each other. So tip number 4 is don't get intimidated before the show actually starts. So one thing that I noticed was after I registered, after I checked in, I went into the tanning place, like into the sponsored tanning booth to get my spray tan. Well, while I was in there, they had a bunch of other, guys in there that were also getting tanned. And after you get sprayed, you just kind of have to, wait around in front of these big fans to try to dry off and, wait to be able to, put your shirt back on and stuff. Well, while you're sitting there, all the guys, and pretty much a lot of the guys that you're competing against are, right there. And, everybody's like nonchalantly like checking each other out, seeing, what kind of physique you have, what kind of physique you're gonna present on stage, asking you questions, different things like that. And you can't let any of that bother you. Like what I did was, everybody's asking, what are you competing in? Are you doing men's physique? Are you doing classic? How tall you are? How many people's in your class? And it's, don't worry about none of that. All you have to worry about is presenting your best package that you have been working on for months and months, and present your posing routine that you have also been working on for months and months. And don't worry about those other guys. There's nothing you can do, to make those guys fatter, or to make those guys less lean, or to make them have less abs or less obliques. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is focus on you and focus on presenting, like I said, your best package. So don't don't go in there and see these guys and be, oh man, that guy's big, he has a great core, he's really conditioned, and that'll mess up your head, and then mess up your stage presence, it'll mess up your confidence. So don't worry about those other guys. Just worry about you and your presentation of your physique on that stage. And then, like I said, that ties into tip number 5. And I guess this is a tip, I'm not sure, but while I was in prep, I got really big into podcasts and interviews and YouTube stuff. And there's 2 interviews that I listened to that really helped me out a lot mentally for preparing for this competition. And the first one was an interview between Tim Ferriss and Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you just Google Tim Ferriss, Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's going to pop up on YouTube. But what I really, the main part that I took out of it is they had a big portion of the interview that talked about Arnold's confidence and how he had so much confidence out there on stage. And his answer was just, it was phenomenal. It's basically what I said, that he didn't worry about anybody else. He just worried about himself, and he would try to get in other people's heads and stuff. But just the detail that he went into in that interview just helped me out tremendously. So that's one interview. And a second interview is the guy or the president of Quest Nutrition. His name is Tom Bilyeu. He does this interview series called Inside Quest, where he interviews these different, really famous and really successful people. And like the Thursday before my competition, I watched this interview between Tom and a guy named JP Paulwin. I don't know. I'll link them both of the podcasts. I'll link them somewhere. But it was how to perform under pressure. And it was absolutely amazing because I knew that I would have a lot of pressure on me, or self-induced pressure, but a lot of pressure before I stepped on stage. So listening to that podcast, it really helped me kind of get over that and not worry about it and just perform at my best. So check out those 2 podcasts. You won't be disappointed at all. And the last tip, and the 6th tip, is prepare to be thirsty. I don't know, I didn't realize that, I always knew you had to deplete water, but I guess I just never put 2 and 2 together and realized that you can't have water throughout the day of the competition. Like, everybody was asking me, oh, what you gonna eat after this? What you gonna eat after this? I didn't care about food. Food was my least worries. I just wanted some water. Once I had my water in, then I was really hungry. But, just prepare to be thirsty. I feel like if I'd have been more mentally prepared for that, it would have been a lot easier. So hopefully you could take it and just know that you will definitely be really thirsty throughout the day. So those are just 6 quick tips that I wanted to share with you guys, if you're thinking about competing. And like I said, I know a lot of the people that do watch all my videos aren't planning on competing, but you never know. There might be somebody out there that is watching my vlogs or my cutting edge series that will want to compete, and they can maybe take something from it. So I really enjoyed this process. I really enjoyed prep. Even though a lot of you may know I bitched a lot, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. I want to thank all of my friends and family for all of the support you guys gave me. You gave me my space when I needed it, because this prep took a lot. And there was a lot of times where I had to say no to a lot of things, and friends and family, didn't bat an eye to it, and they're like, okay, and they understand and they respected it, and I appreciate it. I really want to thank, my sister, my brother-in-law, and my mom, and my dad. They came there, they were there from the moment that the show started all the way until I stepped off stage, and they were with me the whole day. They talked sense into me because, like I said, it was a rough day. They stuck by my side, they supported me. Like, words can't even describe the amount of love that I have for all of them, for being there, for because they knew how special that day was for me, and they knew how hard I worked for it and how bad I wanted it, and they were there, and I knew it before, and it verified it and made it even more known at how much they do really support me in this, and I love them with all my heart. So thank you guys for supporting me and all that. Thanks everybody that has watched this series. It's been 15-16 weeks, and I've had a blast documenting my whole series. I can't wait to look back in a year, 2, 3, 5 years from now, look back at this series and kind of see my progression and see how I went and see how things have changed. That's why I did it. So that's it. That's the end of Cutting Edge, contest prep, Greater Gulf States. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Please like this video. Please subscribe. There's a lot of great content to come. I'm heading out to LA in like 3 days. I have a lot of great stuff for you guys. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I love you, uh-oh. So good it hurts, I don't want it. I gotta have it, uh-oh. When I can't find the words, I just go. I don't like it, no, I love it. I don't like it, no, I love it. So good it hurts. All out, turn the beat up. Hey now, I'm glad to meet ya. Turn up, girl, blow the speaker.